Hello, I'm Rebecca Flaherty, and today we're going to be making this classic herringbone pattern in Procreate. I know that a lot of you are loving these geometric patterns, so we're going to keep going with them until I run out of ideas. This is a beginner to intermediate level tutorial. The only tricky part is getting those snapping lines just right. We'll be using simple filled rectangles and Procreate snapping tools to keep everything neat and precise. And just before we begin, yes, I know geometric patterns are usually easier in Illustrator or Affinity, but I love figuring out how to make them in Procreate, and that's the fun part for me. You can grab today's colour palette over in the Pattern Maker's Toolkit. I'll pop today's dimensions in the description for easy reference too. Let's get started. So we're going to start in a 3600 pixel square canvas at 300 dpi, and I'm going to start by hiding the background colour because I'm going to fill this layer with white. Then we're going to tap transform. Make sure you've got nearest neighbour for your interpolation method for this pattern, and we're going to tap on this node here, and we're going to make this into a rectangle, so we need to unlink the ratio, and it's going to be 1800 pixels wide and 900 pixels tall, and then we're going to centre that on the canvas there. Then we're going to duplicate this layer. I'm going to hide the one underneath. I will invert the colour on this one, tap transform, and we're going to take 100 pixels off each of these dimensions. So unlink the ratio, and this will become 1700, and this one will become 800. And then we're going to centre this one on the canvas as well. Then we can turn this back on, and that will be nicely centred on there. That's going to be the basic shape for making our herringbone tile out with. So now we can use this to build out the tile. I'm going to group these together, and then I'm going to select the whole group, tap transform, and I'm going to snap this up into the top corner there, and you'll see those orange lines going down the sides and also down the middle. Then I'm going to duplicate this, tap transform. I'm going to snap it to the bottom of that box so we get the double thickness of the outline there, and then halfway across like that, and it should also be snapped to the middle of the canvas like that. Duplicate again, tap transform, and again snap it halfway across that box. Make sure you're snapping it to the edge of this box there, not the edge of the black box. And then you should also see those orange lines in the middle there. And then we're going to repeat that one more time, bringing it to the corner here. And you should see it snapping into the corner there. So that's the first row done. Now we're going to put some vertical ones in. So we'll go back to this bottom one, duplicate, tap transform. I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees, so 45 degrees twice, and we're going to put these vertically in the gaps that we've created there. So this one will go to the edge of the canvas and should also be snapped halfway there. Then we can duplicate this, bring it halfway down, and then use it to fill that spot there. Then again duplicate, and we'll bring it to the bottom here to fill that space in there. And then we're going to also do these in these top spots there. So then we duplicate this one and use it to fill that spot, and you should see an orange line down there, also along the top. Then we can do this spot here, and then last of all a horizontal one in this spot here. There we go, and that is all the layout work done for this now. What we're going to do is open up all of these folders and tap on this black one, and then I'm going to swipe right on all of the others. So we've got all of the layers with the black squares and rectangles on them selected, and I'm going to tap group on those. Let's go all the way up to the top here. Then I'm going to flatten that group. So all of those are on one layer now. Let's move that out to the top. And I'm actually going to delete all of the white stuff underneath, so you can pinch everything else together, and then we can delete this layer underneath. And I'm going to create a new layer and just fill it so that if there was any small bits that were out of alignment, we're just starting with one smooth flat layer. So add a layer and tap fill. Then we're going to drag that underneath, and we're going to use this to cut out of this one. So we're going to tap select on this layer. I'm going to hide it now. You can see we've got those shapes selected. I'm going to tap on this layer underneath, tap transform. It's going to look like nothing's happened, but we can drag all of that off, and then we've got this nice outlined framework to fill with colour underneath. So let's add a layer and drag that underneath, and then we can fill this with colour. We're going to tap on this and make it a reference. Then go back to the layer underneath, and then we're going to fill these with colour. Make sure you've got the threshold up nice and high so that it fills underneath these lines. And doing it this way is the easier way to recolor it than if you had different rectangles and you'd have to like alpha lock and fill each one. This way you can do it by just using colour drop and know that you've filled all the way to the edges and you're not going to get any gaps anywhere. When you come to this one, you need to make sure that this one is also the same colour. And likewise, when you do this one here, you need to make sure that this one is the same colour. And there we go, that's how to make this herringbone tile. Let's test the pattern is repeating now, so I'm going to swipe down with 3 fingers, if it'll let me, and copy all, come up to the top here and paste. Then I'll drag this up into the middle there until you see 1800 pixels. You can hide these, and let's put the background colour in but make it black so that if there's any gaps or things going wrong we can see that black showing through and we can know and fix it. So let's duplicate this, tap transform, snap that over to the edge there and just zoom in and make sure that these line up there. Specifically this one here, because this is the one that crosses over. You can see that's all right there. You can pinch those together, duplicate, tap transform, bring that down there, and then it's these yellow ones that mostly we want to make sure look okay, which they do. So there we go. That is the version 1 of this classic herringbone pattern. What I want to show you now, I'll just merge those together, hide that, and I'm going to paste back in a copy of the tile there. And what I want to do is show you a really cool trick where we can rotate this at 45 degrees and then play around with the blend modes to come up with some really wacky patterns. So we're going to change the interpolation method to bicubic now, and we're going to rotate it 45 degrees and then fit it to the canvas. Then we can duplicate this layer, tap transform, snap it into the corner there, and when you zoom in you will see a semi-transparent line there, but we're going to fix that and fill it back in a second, so don't worry about seeing that line there. It's all part of the plan. So duplicate this bottom one again, bring it up into the corner there and snap it in, and you see we get this nice diagonal repeat on the herringbone now, which looks really cool. Bring that one into the corner and then that one down there. Then we're going to pinch and merge all of those together, and we're going to knock out this semi-transparent line now. It's to do with the pixels being changed when we rotated it. They become like softened on the edge, but it's a semi-transparent line, so all we have to do is duplicate this, do it 3 times, pinch those together, and then do it one more time. So that's kind of 6 layers of semi-transparency stacked on top of each other, and that's knocked out that, and this is a perfect tile now. So you've got that as a different kind of pattern again with the diagonal repeat on there. What I want to do is turn this layer on underneath, and I want to show you a really cool thing where you can combine the 2 pattern tiles to make some really interesting new ones. So if we tap on this one, the one that's been rotated, and change the blend mode on this, you'll see you come up with some really weird and wonderful designs, which all of these are repeating tiles, so this will repeat perfectly. My favourite ones for this are lighter colour will stick to your existing colours that you've used and just put some really interesting shapes in there. Like, how difficult would it be to put that together in Procreate? Yet we've made this really simple tile, and then by using the blend modes we get this really intricate geometric design. My other favourite one is, I think, screen or lighter colour. Lighten, that's it. I love using lighten. The colours that you come up with on here are really pretty, and also screen can give some really nice colours. I'm going to leave this on lighten, and if you come up with a colour palette that you think looks really cool, you can always long press on these colours and add them to a new palette to use in your next design. And that is one of the reasons I love playing around with these geometric designs in Procreate. Not just to make the geometric pattern itself, but because it inspires you to then find new things to make and new ways to use what you come up with in your existing art. So let's put this into repeat now. So I'm going to swipe down with 3 fingers and copy all, swipe down again and paste, and then we'll drag this up into the middle, duplicate and snap it over to the side, pinch those together. There we go, and you've got that really cool intricate repeating pattern. Don't forget, you can grab today's colour palette from the Pattern Makers Toolkit. If you love geometric patterns, check out my Skillshare class on making circle-based patterns in Procreate. You can get 1 month free with the link below. And don't forget to follow me here on YouTube for your weekly dose of pattern making fun. Have fun, stay creative, and I will see you soon.